Residential report writing and case studies. Chapter 10, case study, small residential income something. Analysis of rental data. We need to analyze the comparable rental data. It is not necessary that all the properties have the same number of units. We are trying to estimate the amount of market rents for the subject's individual units. If the subject has 3 units that have 4 rooms and 800 square feet each, it is not important to try to find units that are similar in size and amenities to use as comparable rentals. A 2-unit property with units that are 4 rooms and 800 square feet each would probably work just fine as a rental comparable. If the subject property has units of significantly different sizes, you will need rental comparables for each type of unit. For example, a 3-unit property may consist of a 7-room home with 1,900 square feet, a 4-room garage apartment with 1,000 square feet, and a basement efficiency apartment with 420 square feet. The same rental comparables would not be suitable for all 3 units. You would need rentals of large units, smaller units, and efficiency units to support your opinion of market rent for each size unit. As a rule of thumb, smaller units rent for more per square foot than larger units. Then this sentence appears at the bottom of the rental comparable section. Analysis of rental data and support for estimated market rents for the individual subject units reported below, including the adequacy of the comparables, rental concessions, etc. Remember that these are comparable rentals and that they are intended for use in estimating market rent for the subject property. A sole property with all of its units vacant would not be a suitable rental comparable. Furthermore, properties that are not rented at market levels, such as units rented to the owner's family members, would not be typically be an indicator of market rent. End of page. Reporting of analysis. Once we have made our analysis and developed our opinion of market rent, we now have to provide the summary support for this opinion in the report. We need to pull all this together in narrative form, explaining and supporting our opinion of market rents for the subject units. Here is where we discuss which comparable is most similar and how each differs from the subject. Comparable 1 units might be rented for $900 a month, but they are larger, newer, and have an extra half bath. Units in comparable 2 might be rented at $800 a month, but they lack garages and central air. Comparable 3 might be very similar to the subject, but the rent is $950 a month, includes all utilities. Given that scenario, we might make a case for the market rent of the subject to be around $850. It requires a cogent reconciliation of the data. In analyzing rents, it often makes sense to first reduce the rents to common units of comparison. The gross rents may vary considerably, say from $550 to $750 a month. However, there may be a fairly small range when reduced to rent per square foot. For example, 72 cents to 78 cents per square foot. For example, A 4-room unit with 800 square feet that is rented for $600 per month would indicate $150 per room, $600 /4, and 75 cents per square foot, $600 /800. Using units of comparison such as rent per square foot or rent per room is easy to understand and allows the intended users to see the analysis behind the market rent estimates. End of page. Subject rent schedule. The next section of the form on page 2 is the subject rent schedule. This is where we display the actual rents in each unit of the subject property and then enter our opinion of the market rent for each unit as supported by the rental comparables, which appear in the section above it. Obviously, this section does not appear in the URAR. This part of the report, this whole section is called the subject rent schedule. It talks about rent schedule. The appraiser must reconcile the applicable indicated monthly market rents to provide an opinion of the market rent for each unit in the subject property. The line underneath that has leases, actual rent, opinion of market rent. Underneath that, it's like unit number, lease date, begin date, end date. That's under leases. And then under actual rent, it says per unit, unfurnished, furnished, total rent. And then under opinion of market rent, it says per unit, unfinished, finished, or unfurnished, furnished, total rent. Underneath that is 4 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way across the board. Underneath that, comment on lease data. And there's a couple lines underneath that. Down from that is total actual monthly rent. And then there's underneath that is other monthly income, itemize. Underneath that is total actual monthly income. And that goes all the way down the line. Line underneath that is utilities included in estimated rents. And it shows electric, water, sewer, gas, oil, cable, trash, collection, other describe. And then underneath that is comments on actual or estimated rents and other monthly income, included personal property. And there's like 5 lines underneath that. End of page.